Good afternoon, everybody. We are back with another installment with Design Thinking with Dr. Islandi Pierre. We took a bit of a hiatus, but we are back in action and getting back on design thinking, where we are diving into how to think, how to structure your thoughts, how to problem solve, and get to it. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Islandi Pierre, the extraordinaire. She is a professor at FIU and faculty at FIU, Florida International University. Go Panthers. She has her PhD in education and leadership, and she is our uh, design thinking expert. Dr. Islandi, how you doing? Dr. Pierre?
I am well, Gary. How are you?
Doing well. Well, we took a little bit of a halt, but I'm happy to see you back, and we're getting into the next phase of it. And it seems like we're going to talk about ideate.
Yes, yes. I'm
Excellent.
happy to see you too. Okay, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, thank you so much, Gary, for introducing me. Thank you, Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce, for having me again. This has been such an honor, and let's get started. So, in anything that we do, especially since we've been gone for a while, we need to go do an overview of what we've learned so far. So we are working on the design thinking framework. So in the first session, we learned about empathizing. In the second one, we learned about defining. So today, we are going to ideate. This is the fun part of stage three of design thinking. We get to brainstorm, we get to come up with stuff. There's a buzzword out there. We get to disrupt um, whatever the norm may be, or maybe we get to keep the norm but add more to it. So that's the whole point of ideating. All right. And then after ideate, we'll touch on prototype and test in future sessions. And this is a slide of what ideate looks like to the eyes. It's a visualization of ideation. It's you going into your brain and trying to figure out, okay, how do we make this come alive? What are the steps that we need to take to make this come alive? How do we do this? Because we empathized with the people, we try to define the problem after empathizing. Now, what solutions or what can we ideate to come up with some solutions that we can prototype and test? Okay, so a definition of ideation is one, creative ways to generate ideas, opportunities, and possibilities, finding processes, frameworks, or concepts that work. Design thinking is a framework. It's a framework that I personally love, and it's a framework that I have prototyped and tested. So it helps me with ideating whatever I need to ideate it, whether it's in my personal life, my work life, business life, whatever it may be. And you can't have innovation without new ideas. So this stage in the design thinking framework helps you come up with new ideas, test the new ideas, prototype the new ideas, and again, see if it works. So I have a quick video from IDEO regarding what does the ideating stage look like from their point of view. Let's see if I can click on this video. Give me one moment. Quick question backstage. Are y'all able to click on the video? Okay, give me one moment. Let me see if I can get the video up and running.
of applying to residency right now. Wish me luck. Grammarly has again been a lifesaver.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna pull up. Can anyone backstage pull up the video for me? I'm gonna put it in the link in the chat.
All right, just having a little technical difficulties with the
Sorry about
video. But what you can do, if you could send that over to, I'll go ahead and give you the email to send it over to
Okay.
right here.
So in the meantime, while we wait for that, we'll just move forward. Gary, the link is in the chat.
All right, and we can get the there it is. We can get the video going.
Okay. Give
Yes,
me one.
in the meantime,
In the meantime,
just going over the past. Oh no, was my sound out? I hear you.
we can hear you, Gary.
Okay, good. Sorry, but in the meantime, we can discuss the past phases of the design thinking, just to reel people back in.
Yes, with the empathy stage, the first part of it is going out and finding out what the problem is and why people feel that it's a problem. And then with the defining stages, you know the problem, you empathize with it. There's still a little bit more empathizing in the defining stage. Now it's okay. How do we get down to the nuts and bolts of the issue? And then when we come over to the ideating stage, then that's when we try to find solutions. So remember, I'll go back to the ideating piece and the framework of the ideating. We're gonna go to our favorite ice queen. So I don't know if y'all remember the ice queen. She had some stuff that she needed us to work out for her during the empathy and defining stage. So I'm gonna go back over to what her problem is. So what Gary and I are gonna do is see if we can ideate some solutions for her. So until when we get the video to come back, then you'll see how. Oh, there's the video. All right, thank you.
All right, team. Thanks for coming for a brainstorm today. We have a really interesting topic. The local zoo, the visitors are down 20%. So how might we boost the number of visitors to the zoo? This is a serious problem for them. They want to stay open. They need more funding, all this kind of good stuff. So let's spend a few moments now first and get a few ideas down. Remember, we're going for quantity. Let's see how many ideas we can get. And also, there's so many good ideas out there. Let's push ourselves, try to get closer to the ridiculous. That might be brilliant. All right, so I'll start us off. I had a date night. So, and you might hang out with the animals that are in action, if you know what I mean. All right, what else? What else you got? Oh, yeah. What do you got?
What if we do a dress up like your favorite animal day? So it's like a costume theme thing.
Very cool.
What about zoo pop-up at places that kids frequent, the mall, school, parks? Home Depot, I know, has programs for little kids to build, like, birdhouses and stuff like that. So it could be all these different crafts, but they're sort of animal lessons, so
Love
kids
it,
learn.
love
And
it. I have a night camping, so you get to camp overnight there. So let's get a 5 or 10 more.
So I figure loyalty cards work for airlines and for burritos, so why not have it work for the zoo?
Building out the whole celebrity thing. What if like we pretend that animals are celebrities and we give out like a gossip magazine as an advertisement?
So for an hour every day, they vacate the cages, and you get to go swing on the bars and everything that the monkeys have. Zoo turned playground.
That's awesome.
What we'll do next is we'll look at these and look for some themes and cluster a couple. And then I think we should even prototype 1 or 2 of these and then take them over to the zoo. It's going to be great. A lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
All righty. So as you can see on the video, you saw a team live in action ideating a problem that the zoo has. So for us, like some of the things that you saw in that video, they talked about quantity of ideas. How much ideas do you have? When they talked about the quantity of ideas, all of us have a lot of ideas in our heads. Sometimes we ideate in the restroom, we ideate in the kitchen, we ideate while we're driving, taking a road trip, we ideate while we're sitting outside, but all those ideas are in our heads. We don't put it out. So this is a way when you're working in teams, whether you're in the workplace, whether again your personal life, this is a great way to figure out, okay, I have this idea, there's this opportunity, the many possibilities that we have, can we bring this to life? How many? That's the quantity. Also, you heard he said the closer to ridiculousness. No, it's similar to when someone says, no question is a stupid question. No idea is a stupid idea. There's a lot of ideas in this world that we have. Like if you think back to, let's say 1999, and we're now in 2023, how fast we've grown. Like in 1999, we didn't have an iPhone, but in 2023, we're on to like iPhone 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe even higher. So it's ideas, it's people generating, sitting somewhere, strategizing, trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do next? But not to the extreme of, let's say, Pinky in the Brain. How do we take over the world? So, there's some carefulness in there. But the closer to where it can get ridiculous or it's just not in the cards, that's fine. The fact is, you are generating ideas. As you can see in the video, there was a poster board, there were sticky notes, there were different colors. One thing that people learn differently. Some people are very visual, some people are very tactical, some people have to have the words, have to have the instructions. So when you're ideating, you are incorporating everyone's learning style to the ideation process. You're having everybody talk, you're having them write. It just looks fun. When you're ideating, you just have to make sure that you're in an area where it's fun for everyone. And then I suggest that you don't ideate alone. When you're thinking of ways to generate ideas or opportunities or possibilities, teams help, or another person helps, or even just bouncing it off yourself in a mirror. That may sound weird, but again, if it's ridiculous, we want you to go there. But teamwork helps. The other piece too is drawings. Even when people are on the post-it notes, people are drawing. It just gets their brain open. Some people ideate to music. Some people ideate to TV. Now, weird fact about me, when I need my ideas, I watch General Hospital. That just sounds weird, but I watch General Hospital because my mind is the clearest. It's just the clearest when I watch General Hospital for some reason. It's just mindless soap opera TV. But by the time I get done with that show, I have ideas. I'm like, ooh, okay. I got away from the world. So again, that's the whole point of the idea. It's very easy. It's one of those concepts within the design thinking framework where you don't have to think about it too much, like empathy and the definition. It's ideas. It's stuff that we've learned from the time we started school and even before school, playing with our Legos or baby dolls, whatever it may be. We just ideate stuff and just hope that it sticks. Okay, some strategies for the ideating stage. I do apologize. That says define, but it's supposed to say ideating stage, is brainstorming and concept development. So you were able to see an example of brainstorming from IDEO, who has their own design thinking framework and the one that we're using for this series. Now let's dive a little bit into concept development. How I was able to use design thinking in my own work and in my own employment to bring something to life. Okay, so this is a photo of Shansia in 2018 at FIU for the Bayfest 2018 concert. As you can see, the headline, it says Bayfest 2018 was the best FIU BBC has ever seen. So when I saw that in the newspaper, I was like, yes, yay, yay, yay. Design thinking works. It's because I applied the year, I learned about design thinking the year before. I was like, okay, I want to try this out with the concert and let me try this out with the students. And they were very open to it. And in the empathizing stage, we used a think tank and we invited students who were never involved at the university, and we wanted to hear from them. So from that think tank, we did our empathy stage, and then we tried to define the concert. What is this concert for students, specifically at the Biscayne Bay campus? To provide some context, around that time, the Campus Lives were two separate entities within FIU, but now we're one department. But at that time, my focus was specifically on the BBC campus. So this was exciting that, BBC had this. And it was because of that design thinking that it was the best ever. So how did we get here? So this is an outline from the empathy defining and the ideate stage. So with the ideation, we wanted to take people, whoever comes to this site here, we wanted to take them through an experience. We wanted to, just marketing wise, we wanted to have them have a great experience from the time they entered the concert zone, the Bayfest entrance, until the time they get to the stage, which was here at one point. So we looked at every single area that we were working with, and we said, okay, we're going to zone everything out. This was an idea that I came up with, and the students were like, all right, zones, right? And I'm pretty sure you see this a lot in your own work environment, where you have to segment out certain concepts or certain areas or certain areas or designs just to see a clear picture of what you're trying to get. So we wanted to make sure we focused on it in the admission side. We wanted to make sure we focused on security and badge check. What experience do we want them to have in zone 3s? The students were like, we want a food truck zone. What do we have here? We want a village. Here, we want to make sure production is good and that the attendees are focused in here. And then we wanted kayaking and a game truck and all that. So it was just a day of ideas. We just threw that out, and then we had meetings afterwards just to hone down those ideas. So then from there, this is the conceptualizing piece. From there, we wrote everything that we wanted in each zones. We did a Bayfest experience key. And then we reached out to suppliers and vendors who we wanted to be a part of these zones, or what we wanted to focus on in the specific zones. So we just wanted to make sure we focused it in. So that was our key, and we always referred back to that key based on the ideas that we generated. Then this was the experience. We came up with the theme. It was a 90s theme. We had our Run DMC chains. We had our fanny packs. There was a young woman who won a contest at our school. She sang Selena, so she channeled her inner Selena. As you can see, the host had a lot of fun, and you can see the students experiencing kayaking. It was just a good time, and they got to see Shansia and other artists within the concert. All of this came about because of design thinking. We took the time and said, we want to revamp this. It's like making the familiar strange and making the strange familiar. So in creativity, this was something that was familiar, but we wanted to make it strange. That's the ideating piece. We wanted to make it creative. So now what happens is, and we're going to learn a little bit more when we get to the prototype stage, is now this is the blueprint for us. So every year from 2018, we look at what we can improve more and more. So the one area that I feel like that we need constant improvement, because everything else went pretty well, is our admissions area. That area is just one of those areas. It's like we always got to test and prototype something new to see how we can make it more efficient, getting people in and out, getting people safely, bag checks, security checks, um, payments, just the experiences before they even get in there, trying to figure out how to make that more efficient. So every year, that is one piece that we test, retest, and prototype a lot. It's not perfect, but I feel like we're almost getting there. So that's an example of conceptualizing. So I'm going to go further and we're going to practice ourselves. Gary, are you ready to practice?
Yes, I am. This is my favorite part of the segment. Being the test subject here. I'm here.
Yes. So what do you think so far about what you're learning on the ideating? Do you have any feedback on this or?
Oh, 100%. Just love the idea that there's no bad ideas. Just getting everything out there, and then examining it and prioritizing the quote unquote better ideas. And also like the concept of the closer, what's it said, the closer you get to ridiculousness,
Yeah.
something along that line. So, but that's true because a lot of the greatest things or inventions or events or anything that's coming from your mind into reality are quote unquote wild ideas. Like who could think of a talking mouse like Mickey Mouse, or a little box you can talk to somebody in India while you're in Florida. You know what I'm saying? As far as a cell phone, so just wild ideas, just go for it, and those are usually the best ones.
And you know what's so funny? Someone posted on social media the other day the Brady Bunch. They said, "Who knew the Brady Bunch would be in Zoom boxes before Zoom?" And I
Hmm.
looked at the photo. I'm like, "Oh wow, they do look like they're in Zoom boxes." And that was what in the '60s and
Yeah.
'70s, and we're pretty much right now we're in a box. Okay, so now that you pretty much got an idea of ideation, ideating, brainstorming, and trying to conceptualize um, the framework for me with this event in particular,
Mhm.
this is the design thinking is the framework that I used. When the ideas say find a framework, find a concept,
Mhm.
find something that works and use it. For me, I saw that design thinking worked. And then I did exactly, I used it.
Mhm.
And then which in turn turned the 2018 into the best Faith Fest ever. Now,
Yes.
will it work for everybody? I don't know, but it never hurts to try.
Mhm.
Okay. Ice Queen, we all remember her.
Yes.
We're going to go through her prompt one more time, real quickly. And it's important for us to always go through her prompt because we're looking at it with fresh eyes. We looked at it with the empathy lens. We looked at it with the definition lens. Now we're going to look at it with the ideating lens. So the Ice Queen has the ability to change water into any form, including ice, snow, and any other shape or size. She can move any amount of water in any form, anywhere, instantaneously. She is 10 feet tall and as strong as 20 human men. She lives in an ice castle in the far northern reaches of Earth. She lives in the coldest region, hidden at the North Pole. Her castle is in a secret location and can only be seen at night on a full moon. She loves to dance and create ice sculptures. When she dances next to the sculptures, they come alive and follow her movements, which brings her great joy. The only company she likes is wolves, polar bears, and winter foxes. She does not interact with humans, fairies, or other creatures by choice. She is happy with solitude. The Ice Queen has an interest in using her knowledge of sculpture to create new works of arts all around her castle. Her clothes are made from the water crystals she controls, and the cloth is woven exclusively from ice and snow into intricate patterns. Now that we know this about the Ice Queen, what are some ideas that you have for her? Because she's clearly stating to us that she wants to create new works of arts all around her, knowing that she feels the way she feels against humans, fairies, and creatures,
Mhm.
knowing she's in a secret location, knowing that she can only be seen at night on a full moon, knowing that she's 10 feet tall and she's as strong as 20 human. We know all of this about her. So let's brainstorm, let's conceptualize, let's see how we can help the Ice Queen create new works of arts all around her castle.
Well, to help her achieve that, of course, she needs a lot of space, which she has. Um, I mean, it's might be overthinking, but it's
Remember,
not.
it's it's even if it sounds ridiculous, put it out there.
I mean, she has the environment to do what it is that she wants to do, um, and just ensuring that she continues to have that environment and she stays in that creative space, um, or there's creating barriers for people like, hey, do not walk past this point, um, keep out. I don't know, put a fence around there or something,
Mhm.
because she enjoys her solitude. Um,
One of my students a couple of years ago said she should put herself in a crystal ball. And people could just watch her through the crystal ball. She's
mm,
still in her solitude. She still doesn't have to interact, but the beauty is maybe whenever they could see her in the full moon, that
mm,
she could just put herself in a crystal ball because she has
yeah.
powers.
Mm,
That was one idea. Another idea that I just came up with in my head was the sky. She could probably do something in the sky where people could just look up and see it. I don't know.
mm,
It sounds weird, but she don't really need to be there for people to see it. Or
yeah.
in the full moon, she could make a special appearance like they do at the clubs, and she could
Mm.
probably even charge too for that special appearance.
100%, 100%. But yeah, I mean, as far as any ideas that come to mind, as long as she has the space, like even being up in the mountains, more creative, like Mount Everest or something, where it's hard for people to climb, and she has her own space to do what she wants to do, and it's the environment that she wants for it, being cold, um, and having that solitude.
All right.
Mm.
So far, we have mountains, we have the sky, we have a globe.
Mhm.
Does anybody in our world right now, in our room, have any ideas? Please drop in the chat.
Just none at the moment. They might pop up a little later.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's see. What else can we think of? What other ideas? She has the ability. Oh, we didn't think about the ocean because she has the ability to change water into any form.
Okay.
We didn't think about that.
Yeah. So she can go out and middle of the ocean and make her own ice island or something. That would still be away from humans and
Mhm.
around the animals that she likes. She can invite those animals there or carry those animals there.
Yeah. And she has knowledge of sculpture and something with water crystals. So she can make like water crystal jewelry. Like
Mm,
jewelry is very popular, like iced out. People love ice.
yeah. I st-
Like earrings, necklaces.
mhm.
I wonder if she could do like a coronation, something to that effect, similar to what happened in London with
Mhm.
Charles, because she is a queen.
Yes.
Well, she's probably already coronated since she's a queen.
Yeah. Just finding things to saying she loves to dance. I mean, what I'm seeing or visualizing, she needs a lot of space. She
Mhm.
needs places where people can't get to, and of course, just think about the ocean, mountains, things that are waste. She's not seeking the validation of other people from her art, so she can kind of just be anywhere.
Mhm. And she could dance on water. She could like make that ice on the water. She can dance on there,
Mm,
and people could watch that from afar.
mm,
Oh, let's put a visual here. There's more within the visual.
mm,
Let's see. We see the moon. We see the ice castle. Well, it looks like she's already in. She's walking through the water.
mm,
So as you can see, ideas is bound. It's boundless,
mm,
boundaryless, boundless, endless, infinite. The possibilities, don't limit yourself. And I always
mm,
go back to the definition of creativity for me is making the strange familiar and making the familiar strange. So
mm,
right now, the photos that we're looking at is strange. So how can we make this familiar to us? And when I think about the how it's familiar for me is Disney World or Disneyland
mm.
because we
Yeah.
have the castles. These are the same color palettes for is it I forgot which queen, Sleeping Beauty? I think she has that color
Mm,
palette. So that's making it familiar, but this is already looking strange.
mm,
Um, and not closing ourselves out to it. How do you apply this to business in the business world? Innovation. Right now, people, businesses, they're looking for innovation. They're looking for the next Google, the next
mm,
Uber, the next Twitter, or the next, like, people are literally searching for this. Venture capital firms are searching for this. The next biggest chef,
mm,
next reality star. They're looking for innovation. So the more that you can spend the time to just come up with your ideas, and when you have these ideas, put it in a notebook, record it, put it somewhere, because ideas can, as quick as it comes, is as quick as it can go. It can be
mm,
fleeting. So just have a place to put it. And then the other piece too is when you're working in teams, allow your team members to put their ideas out there without judgment, without fear that they're going to get in trouble, or without reservations. To just put them in a place where, look, I want to hear everything. And then the other piece is if you take someone's idea, give them credit for it.
mm,
Because that's the other side of ideation, where you brainstorm, 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 and then somebody in that group takes the idea and does something with it, and you're like, hold up, why, where, wasn't this a team effort? How are
mm.
you taking credit? Always give proper credit. Always give proper
Yes.
credit.
Yes.
And oh, go ahead, Gary.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. It's always good to acknowledge that somebody brought in an idea that could have potentially been a solution or is a solution, and just encourages them to continue to be boundless. I think the limit that we put on ourselves is a lot of us think that we do have stupid ideas or nobody's listening to it. So by having that encouragement, helps to make us more free. I would say the least in our thinking.
Oh, okay. Oh, someone said she can do a live stream ice ballet. That's cool. I would watch it. That is cool. Okay. So for the idea piece, that is all that I have for now, because it's ideas are pretty much self-explanatory.
Mm,
It's don't be afraid to express your ideas, and also time and place.
mm,
If someone gives you the time and the place to express your ideas, again, whether it's personally, on the job, in your business, then take the opportunity to do it. Take the opportunity. Now, if they don't give you that space and then you just, disrupting and just throwing stuff out there, then, it could be, you got to be careful with that. But always be open to expressing your ideas. And before you get to the idea stage, you need to empathize and define it. Don't just, jump into the idea stage yet. Now, when you understand the problem, like when you thoroughly understand the design thinking framework, you could start at any point. You could create the ideas and then go through the empathy to see if it works or not. But if you're beginning, I would go through the stages first before you move around. It's about understanding the concepts and how to use the concepts. So I'm Ms. Landy Pierre. Thank you. If you have any questions, that's my email address.
I
That's
got
my
questions.
sure.
So, ideation. So I do appreciate that, spending time, giving the empathy, defining the problem even further, and now we're generating ideas for solutions.
Mhm.
And the takeaway I had was, as far as in that generation, recording ideas, whether it be through the sticky notes, having a notebook as you suggested,
Mhm.
bouncing it off somebody, in that way. I think it's just being more intentional with each part.
Mhm.
Um, I did have a question, and that idea left me.
Okay.
So
But
I should.
before you ask Gary, Jim Rohn, I don't know if anybody know who Jim Rohn is. He's a early entrepreneur and he does a lot of personal development. He always says if it's not written down, it doesn't exist.
That's true.
So write those ideas down.
Yes, yes. So it's definitely prime example of what I should have took away just now. But yes, ideation. But I would ask as well. Can we get lost in ideation? A lot of us do live in our heads and might ideate for too long. How do we prevent an extended ideation period?
This that's a amazing question, and this is why I advocate for this framework.
Mm,
With this framework, you don't stay lost in it. He's
mm,
like, okay, I got it. Now let's prototype it. You got to put it together. Let's actually design it. Let's design it. Let's put it together. So without going too much in the prototyping stage, all right, we have on in the comments it says can she can do a live stream ice ballet, right? So we settled on that idea. So how do we go and find out how to make a live stream ice ballet happen?
mm,
So we got to find a streaming service. We got to find people who are well versed in ice ballet. We got to look for dancers. We got to probably have a faraway meeting with the ice queen to schedule what time, when, see if we're going to charge. You go into that event planning stage. You try
mm.
to figure out, okay, how do we make this happen? Now, and it also goes to the lean startup model. A lot of people know, is it Rice? His last name is Rice. A lot of people know about him, where he tells you to prototype and then you go test it. And when you test it,
Okay.
a lot of the times, some people don't have money, but make it lean. Like, what can you afford? If it's $10, I'm pretty sure that there's a free Zoom provides up to, I believe, 30 or 45 minutes for free, right? So
Mm,
take that to the advantage. Um, hire dancers who want to build their portfolios and say, okay, barter, do something. Just try it out. Now,
yeah.
outside of the framework, if you get stuck in your head, this is where the journaling comes in and recording comes in. You have to dump it. Like, it's a brain dump. You have to brain dump those ideas somewhere. And if you don't do that, Gary, there's not much the person can do. It's going to be someone who goes through life not really executing the ideas that they have. Time passes and you're like, damn, excuse my French. Excuse my French, you're like,
No,
dang,
that's real. That's real.
uh,
Yeah.
5 years just passed by and I could have did this. And it's happened to all of us. It's even happened to me. There's some stuff that I
Mm,
wish and I'm still okay. Let me give you an example. I have an idea, right? I've had this idea for 2 years, Gary. I have not done anything with this idea. I even forgot my idea, and my friend was like, "Don't you want to do at a networking event? Don't you want to do this? Something with careers?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do." And I love my friend for reminding me that that's something that I wanted to do. But as much as I know the design thinking framework, I haven't done anything with it. And it's because life is happening. Life is happening. You put it off, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off. I've been trying to execute this for the past 2 years and I haven't done anything. So Gary, hold me accountable.
I guess that's the next piece. I mean, as far as engaging in every aspect of design thinking, being accountable for the time, being accountable for the process.
Yeah.
So we can't get lost into ideation. And I mean, I tell people all the time, we can get our minds are infinite. You know, we can think about anything, but until we put it out into the world, that's when it becomes definite, and things tend to happen. But yeah, getting lost in that's something I suffer from heavily. I'm a thinker, I'm a dreamer, I'm a visionary, and I can. It's beautiful in my head, you know, but let's get it out. Let's get it out into the world.
Yeah, we might need to have a different workshop on that. Like, especially with people who are very high achieving, high functioning, and their time is just tied up with meetings and networking and just being home and taking care of the kids and taking care of your partners, and then your ideas just die. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. So I'm glad that we're touching on that, and we just need to have accountability partners to help push us to get those ideas out. I've seen so many people. Oh, here's another example. I'm not going to say his name, but he works a lot with the city of North Miami Beach as a volunteer, and he's one of my former students. And he said, "Dr. Pierre, I'm going to run for office." I thought he was joking, Gary. I really thought he was joking. And then, like a couple of weeks later, I see his signs all over North Miami Beach. And I told my student, "I'm so proud of you. You said I'm going to do this." And he did it. And then the night of the election, he got a lot of votes. He almost won. And then you know what he did, Gary? Even though he didn't win, he stayed as active as possible with the city of North Miami Beach, to the point he named himself the mayor of our council. He didn't get elected as a commissioner, but he was the mayor of our area. He was dependable. He showed up. He speaks so highly of the city of North Miami Beach. And it's him having that idea, saying that I'm going to do this, no campaigning background, no fund, nothing, just straight grassroots. Perfect example. Have that idea and do it.
Just got to go for it.
Do it, yeah.
All right. I mean, thank you again for this installment. If you can you put up your contact information again for people out there who have questions and want to share some videos and graphics that you share as well.
Okay.
And again, what's that?
I said, Gary, you really need to do something on what you just said with the having the ideas, but not put it something separate from design thinking framework. That's a great idea.
Definitely. What I'm going to do is take down your contact information, and we're and we're going to take that idea and we're going to do something about it.
We're going to make it happen.
We definitely appreciate you again. I'm Gary B. Luima, the chair of the Young Professional Roundtable for the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce. Definitely joined and blessed by Dr. Lenny Pierre, another installment of Design Thinking. We learned how to ideate today. We know what ideation means, and we're going to continue to learn how to structure our thoughts to get into design thinking to effectuate the goals that we think about, ideas. So see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, you always go back and contact Dr. Pierre, and we'll catch you on the next one. We do have a networking event at Perry Wings FTL for Lauderdale, June 2nd at 6 p.m., and we'll see you there.